climate system. So, it's something where like
So
rain
it
patterns
redistributes the
change
weight.
and things like that. So like
Okay, yeah.
there's a valley in California that it's this town that was kind of like nestled between kind of like two mountains, and they had vineyards there, and they put a bunch of wind turbines on like one side of the mountain range. And now all their crops are dead because they don't get any rain anymore, because what's happening is now that they're taking the wind energy out of that system, it's no longer carrying rain over the mountain. It can't make it. There's no energy to push that weather pattern that way.
That's very cool. Like, that's very cool to, like, people
I would
talk
say
about,
interesting, not cool.
No, yeah, I think it's really cool. I think
No
it's
bueno.
extremely interesting how, like, there's an equivalent exchange going on. Like, the distribution of the weight, quote unquote. I'm using metaphorical language.
Yeah,
figurative
what you
figurative
mean,
language,
words.
of course,
Solar.
yeah. So
Well, does that make
birds,
solar
yeah.
energy the best at the moment?
Solar energy is the best option because you're still taking that energy, but you're taking it from an area that was already not using it. So, like,
Yeah.
you put solar panels on your roof tiles were not gaining anything from that. You put them in the middle of the desert, that particular patch of desert, that's cooler. And so that way, if you put it in the middle of, like, some, that happens to be a desert wildlife oasis, so to speak, you're gonna fuck with them. But if you put it just, like, in the middle of nowhere where literally there's not a lot living there and there's not a lot of foot traffic there for wildlife, you're not going to fuck with anything there either. So it's like solar has the least amount of impact to its surroundings and its environment, and is
pretty
truly
efficient.
renewable in that it's not like you don't have to do something to create more. Like with biodiesels, that's renewable, but you still have to find a source to turn into that biodiesel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yes, it's always like your trash, whatever, and like, but you still have to go through that process. The sun is just, until the fucking apocalypse happens, in which case energy is the least of our concerns. Like that's always going to be there. There's always going to be sun on that spot.
Yeah.
So it would fuck up places like that one town in Alaska.
There will be
where
sun
we'll
until it explodes.
literally have darkness for 6 months out of the year, but they'll be rolling in energy the other 6 months where the sun doesn't go down at all.
They won't need the sun because they got those heaters, like all that energy.
So, like, are we fucking starting soon?
Yeah, let's just.
Technology.
Should we just start?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TFT podcast number 131. I'm Mr. Warburg. Alongside me tonight are four awesome people. We got Chaos,
Eyes.
Tejan Lee,
Evening.
Zach,
Salutations, people.
and Love Zelda.
I like how you put the woman at the end. Way to go, Warburg.
Hey, best for
I
last.
see-
Screwed it up. This is your first intro.
Also,
Fire.
your bottom right, I was going reading like a book, so
Yeah.
Skype's
See,
the
but
problem
if
here.
Dark did that, he's the
Whatever.
professional one. He had a strategy behind it.
I mean,
How?
yeah.
How it like
Not
What
really.
happened
at all.
to Dark? Where'd he go? Did he die?
probably rip.
All right, I wanna talk about something.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So while we were waiting to
Yeah,
start the
go for
podcast, we've got some Metal Gear going on, and I'm watching all these menu choices happen inside a helicopter, and there's this woman in the background who has some interesting anatomical physics happening in the chestal region.
Physics.
In that they don't seem to be affected by a constant source of gravity, and they just kind of, like, for no reason, bounce excessively. And when she's laying down and her boobs are just sticking straight up, they're just wiggling all over the goddamn place, like Jell-O. Like, worse than Jell-O. Like, not really well set up, off-brand Jell-O. And I found
Is this not how they
really-
work?
really distracting and obnoxiously inaccurate. But I was like, why? I feel like that's gotta be harder to program in. That it just reacts to every fucking breeze that goes by. Like, what? What the
Well,
shit?
there's a very simple answer. Japan.
True enough.
That's it.
I
That's
just don't understand why any of that is there. And, like,
it's
why?
fan service. That's another term for it.
But
It makes no sense. It makes no darn sense. But it's artistic or whatever kind of excuse they have.
Let's not give it that much credit.
No,
like, okay.
that's their excuse.
The industry is.
I'm a woman. I do not
Yes,
have
you
the
are.
Yes, we heard.
same. I don't have the same reaction to the sight of breasts that men have. Is that something? If you look at that, like I look at it and I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. That just looks silly, and I laugh because it looks stupid. What is your reaction to that?
That is anatomically incorrect, and I do not like it.
I don't care about boobs that are fake. I only care about boobs that are real.
You mean like actual physical ones you can touch? Or like real as in like
Precisely.
biologically real?
Real, biologically real. Jesus, words again.
Me, I just don't play Metal Gear, so I have no fucking idea what we're talking about.
Well, have you ever watched an anime before where the boobs are oversized?
Oh yeah,
There you go.
I mean-
That's the same thing. It's
it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
really do anything for
basically-
me. Like-
fan service. I think again. I don't think you're going to find any one of us that will openly admit to that. But I think there's enough of an audience out there who wants that kind of stuff.
There is.
So there's
There
enough
has
people in
to be-
DeviantArt drawing giant boobs. So
Just don't get it.
there's a market for it.
Because you're I mean, do you not find, like, what is it about the female form that you find attractive, Lozelda? Is it?
That's
No,
how-
I'm,
Did
we have this
genuinely-
conversation What do you want
I'm
before?
genuinely curious. I don't
We
think
had
we
this
have. At
conversation
least
a
I
couple
wasn't
weeks ago.
present.
It was
We
the
did?
butt. Wasn't that just the butt conversation?
Yeah, we totally, Dark brought it up. It was tits versus ass. We totally have just gone over this
Okay.
recently.
Well,
so-
Zach and Warburg were
I
probably
wasn't
not on
there,
that
so-
podcast. So
Yeah,
doesn't
it
count.
doesn't
now.
matter. They should have been listening to the ones they're not on.
I've had that
Mhm.
conversation with quite a few people many a time, so I'm good.
I feel like, no, like, I mean, other than the tits and ass thing, like, what else about
what
the
else?
female form? Like, there's plenty of other things. Wow, so fucking...
No, like why?
I don't understand.
all
Look,
the,
if
is that
I'm
all
in a-
that women are to you guys? Fucking
If
triggered
I'm in
over
a
here.
bar, I'm not gonna look at a woman and say, she looks like she has a great personality. Okay? If you're
no
out
shit.
on the hunt, I'm just saying, if you're out looking for somebody, everybody is shallow to a degree because you have to find
Oh, for
someone
sure.
attractive enough by looking at those physical features, looking at their ass, looking at their boobs, and
Of
decide,
course.
I'm gonna go talk to you. They might be a wonderful person, and you might really fall in love with them and their personality. But if there's not that cardinal
Not a
attraction
physically
to
attractive,
begin with,
yeah.
you're never gonna get to that point.
Well, of course. I was just being, obviously I don't use triggered and I
You
don't
don't have
get
to be
triggered.
defensive.
No.
Yeah, you do sound pretty defensive there, buddy.
Don't worry about it. Nobody's judging here.
Well,
I
we
was
might a
playing.
little
I
bit.
was playing.
Warburg is judging you.
I can't speak for Lucas either.
I'm being the straw man. Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, you're absolutely correct. You have to find some attractive feature about them, whether it be their face, their butt, or their ass.
Did you say their butt or their ass?
Yeah.
Their butt, ass, face.
Do
Like-
we need to have
there's
an
a butt and
anatomy
then there's an
lesson
ass.
with you?
No, see, I'm. There's a grade of. There's a scaling grade of what a butt is to me. So like badonkadonk,
good.
ass, butt. There's
So
it's
I'm
like
gonna say I'm gonna
grading
save Zach
scale.
right now. I'm gonna save Zach right now.
Please don't. I want to hear the difference between a butt and an ass.
Yes, please point to us with the on a diagram.
I think a butt's like just kind of cutesy, but an ass, that's like,
Are you
Nice.
saying it's different
Sexy.
terms for the sizes?
yeah,
That
different terms, different sizes.
Zach going,
Yeah.
So a butt is a thing. You're like,
Damn.
oh, that looks nice in those jeans, and an ass is like, I could grab
yeah.
onto that. Is that
It's
what
a
the difference
badonkadonk.
is?
Exactly. That's the exact difference. You
Does
nailed
anybody
it.
still use the word phrase badonkadonk?
I think a couple
no,
of teachers say
like
that
not
too.
serious.
Or
I
do
use
only
it
white people say
ironically.
that?
Like I don't really actually like YOLO and swag. I don't actually.
No, there are plenty of people who say YOLO unironically.
And
Yeah,
the
which
downfall
is
of society.
sad. Yep.
Is that really the downfall of society?
Well, they're
The
a part
phrase
of the.
YOLO?
I mean,
They're part of the problem. The people that say that, not the phrase itself.
Hmm.
People that
Yeah.
say
So what are the, I would like to know, alright, so our generation, we say YOLO and internets and all these stupid things. What were our grandpas making fun of our parents for their stupid sayings? I'd like to
probably
study that.
rad.
Radical.
Yep.
Oh my god, who are these ladies?
I should probably be watching the stream.
The stream right now. It's just
What the
18
fuck?
chicks with no shirts with guns.
This is not part of the game. This is my doing. They're actually soldiers, kind of like what I'm dressed as. This is me. I'm testing swapping out models for actual like a story joke and different things. And the placeholder model I'm using is like, okay, this model is this. This model is this.
Ray know
It's,
Telling you go with the chick in the
quiet.
bikini.
Does
It's
Ray
also one of the
Yes.
most obvious models on whether or not it's working. Because
Fair
I've
enough.
gotten some awkward fusions, like really awful, like snake beak faces, floating heads, all sorts of things.
Somebody just became a metal legs in a bag.
Yes,
Who was that?
Huey was turned invisible except for his glasses, which were just floating in
Did he
the
die?
air. That was really funny. I've had a lot of random combinations as I've been trying to do different things. Not actually modding any of the game files itself, just the textures. Fun, silly experience. But anyway.
Alright,
Right on.
other fucking things. Were we talking about
What were we
something?
talking
'Cause I got a
about?
new topic if we don't.
Yes.
You go for it.
Alright,
I
is
don't even
anybody
know.
else really fucking creeped out by the KFC commercials?
The ones
Oh,
with
there have been
Norm
weirder
Macdonald.
ones recently?
With the Colonel, with the Colonel Sanders, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah,
Oh, the
thing.
Norman?
It's like
Yeah,
those
that
are-
was funny.
a couple of them are
God.
funny. The rest are just like, okay, the joke's the same in every single video.
Yeah. There's like 2 or 3 that are pretty good.
No, they're creepy. They're so creepy. The dude is creepy.
Well,
it's
that's
not
Norm
okay.
Macdonald's
Norman?
whole shtick. That's he's
I
just a
don't
care
creepy
that
ass
it's-
comedian.
I like KFC, but now I feel uncomfortable wanting to have chicken strips and mashed potatoes. It's not okay.
That is so funny.
It's not.
I can't
Yeah,
get behind
it-
that mindset.
Norm Macdonald is definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, he's super creepy, and he has his niche audience, or not even necessarily niche, because he was on SNL for a long time, right?
Yeah, like he was fine on SNL. Like that was okay. But fucking no.
It's just, once he messes with your KFC, it's Dunskies, huh?
No, he cannot fuck with that $5 Phillip, man. That shit's awesome.
So.
I do that like probably 3 times a week.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I think it's great and it's delicious. Except for the KFC that's near us. Fuck them. Oh my god. We actually
What?
specifically will drive out of our way to go to a different one. Every time we've gone, something has gone like ridiculously wrong with our order. So like we like to do the $5 fill-up thing. It's not
Yes.
that hard. You get we get the chicken strips, chicken fingers, whatever they call them, and I get mashed potatoes. And the $5 fill-up, if you're unfamiliar with it, comes with your chicken and a side, and a biscuit and a cookie.
Okay, cool.
So like that's what's in this thing. And it's pretty good. It's a good deal. Everything's great. So every time we go, they forget to put something in the box. So like sometime they've just forgotten the biscuit. We're like, all right, well that fucking sucks. But it's like the biscuit's been missing, the cookie's been missing, the mashed potatoes have been missing. When they said, "Do you want any sauce?" we go, "Yeah, give me barbecue sauce." That's not in there. We didn't get our drinks. One time I only had 1 chicken strip. It's like every time we fucking go to this place. So like we now
I would
don't
turn
go to
around
that
and
one.
be like, the fuck is
Well,
this?
see, we never figure it out. It's like we get it from the drive-through and bring it home, and then we open it. So we got to a point where we started
Oh
opening
no!
it now, like
See,
while we're
you're
sitting
making
in
a
the
fatal
car.
flaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you have
like,
you have to pull over to the side and then open everything up and check your food.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. Like the first time we're like, okay, that was a fluke, and the second time we're like, that was weird, and the third time we're like, all right, now we gotta just like start inspecting everything, like
Man.
when we
I-
get it, and then we.
See-
But now we're like. Now we're just not gonna. We don't bother with them, so we actually will drive the extra bit to go to a different KFC.
Good.
Yep.
Good, because that's money out of their fucking pocket for being fucking lazy. I hate fucking food service people who
Like, are
don't...
you-
Like, food service is an extremely easy, basic thing. It is not difficult whatsoever. It's taxing physically sometimes, sure, but mentally,
you
no.
had
It's
an even
extremely
more
easy.
difficult job because you actually had to be judged as
I had to
as you were
memorize like
preparing your food
19
in front
different
of their
bagels.
faces.
I had to memorize 19 different bagels, 18 different schmears, like
Well,
10
it's the
vegetables,
fact-
and
we
4
didn't
different
specify
meats.
It was the Subway style, like preparing food in
Yeah.
front of a customer.
And I had to, people watched me make their food as I made as, they ordered it. So, I mean, but still, that's probably like the toughest it's ever gonna get, or like fine dining and stuff like that, but you're gonna be trained on the job, or you've already had fine dining experience. But my point is, if you work at a place where you don't have, it's not made to order, or it's like literally all you have to do is remove one thing, it is nearly fucking impossible to miss that one thing. And if you're missing that one thing, you're a fucking lazy asshole, and you deserve to be there until you're 40, and then you fucking die. I hate those
Jesus.
people.
Okay,
Sorry.
then.
Wow.
I was
No, it's-
really upset about my biscuit.
No.
but,
Yeah.
What did I just
It's
come
a-
back to?
I
God
think
damn it, I'm
a
just
food
so-
service worker murdered Zach's dog.
What?
No.
I'm so
Foods?
sorry,
No.
Zach.
That's like the level of which you're
I'm
pissed
so sorry
right
about your
now.
dog.
It's
I mean,
just
you only
la-
have, like,
I
13
can't
more,
handle I can't stand the laziness in the food
Well,
industry.
it's just laziness in jobs in general, especially because of all the people around me. When I'm in the middle of working, I'm like, I need this. Can anyone help? Oh no, okay. I'll just stand
Yeah.
awkwardly next to this customer who's actively getting pissed.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
mind
that's the
me.
thing. It's like the reason I'm so frustrated is because the people who work hard and are diligent and do make a great overall experience for the customer at a food service thing, a place, industry, restaurant, whatever you want to fucking say.
Yes,
It's thankless, one, and two, they're the ones who get the short end of the stick and get yelled at because they're just bystanders a lot of the time, and they become the victims because customers come back in when the other person isn't working or they're in the bathroom or whatever, and then they yell at you because you're the one that's there or you're the shift lead or whatever. So
I
just
feel like we accidentally touched a nerve. I'm really sorry, Zach.
oh no, it's fine. No,
I
I'm on your bandwagon.
I feel like we
Lo.
just went through
I'm
a
with
deep
you.
emotional journey with you, very unexpectedly, over mashed potatoes.
I
and
guess.
biscuits.
I guess. I mean, so you're on that level. It's not too extreme, but there's
actually,
just like
on that note, what's the if that one is it, then you can just say that. But what's the strangest a restaurant has ever messed up your food order? Like, what's the worst that you've ever had happen to you?
You
They
were there
get-
for mine.
yeah,
Remember?
Yeah.
Sushi?
yeah.
What
they
happened?
didn't or-
Okay, so this is the first time I ever met these guys at RTX 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We all went out for sushi. It takes us about half hour for everyone else to get their food. And I'm just sitting there. And everybody's eating. And I'm sitting next to Zach. I'm like, I think they forgot my food. And, I tell them, I'm like, I never got my food. There's like, okay. Another half hour goes by. I'm like, everybody's done. And I'm like, I never got my food. It's like, oh, it's been sitting here for 45 minutes. Here you go. And I'm
What
like,
the fuck?
and
yeah,
I take
see,
one bite
that
of it,
kind
and I'm like, no, thank you.
Well, it's just like I don't know. I'm very because my mom has been a part of this industry as a manager and a regional manager, and has basically, you know how Gordon Ramsay would come into a restaurant that's like beyond. It should be like foreclosed on and it's dead, and he breathes new life into it, and you know.
Until 3 months down the
Basically,
road, they fail.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my mom, she actually made successful restaurants. She would come in there, get the right staff, the right chefs, you know. So there's like, she made and catered and built an experience for the restaurant and built like a strong, long-lasting foundation for the restaurant as well. And she did that for a long period of time. So I was also a part of that. Like, she would take me places because my dad was either at school, college, or you know, work. And when I was younger, me and my brother would go with her to work sometimes, and that's how I was brought up. So I have a very strong opinion and passion about food and the food service industry. So that's why it's kind of like you fucking couldn't take the time to pick tomatoes off of my fucking sandwich, and this is the 5th time I've come here, or this is literally I haven't even fucking gotten out of the driveway, and this is the 3rd time I had to get a different bag of food from you. So it's just those things just line up to make a perfect fucking hellstorm for me. So that's as to why I'm passionate, I guess.
What's the maddest you've ever gotten in store?
Oh, in store? Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
like if somebody fucks up your order for the 18th time.
Actually,
and-
maddest, didn't you say there was like a couple customers you were so
Well, that's
obviously upset that they stopped talking?
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Yeah, they saw my face and they just immediately stopped talking and asking things about the food. And I was like, okay, I went into the back. I'm like, yeah, I probably was a major dick or was really
What were
angry.
they asking about the food?
It wasn't
They have, like,
too big of a
special
deal at first.
Dietary needs?
No, not dietary needs. Just they kept criticizing everything I did.
It was
And
like that
they-
indecision type thing. Like
It,
they weren't
there's a
paying
couple
attention.
of things.
They
They weren't paying attention to the
them.
menu. They weren't paying attention
Like
to
that.
how I was making the sandwich. And then they were criticizing how I was doing things for with their food to prepare their food. So it was just a few combinations of things where I'm like, you spent 6 or 7 minutes trying to pick out a sandwich in line, and you criticize how I smear cream cheese on the sandwich, or like, why didn't you put it in the other toaster, and this and that.
Why didn't
we
you
don't
put
want
it
it
in
from
the
that
other
toaster.
toaster?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this person was obviously using this restaurant to have some control over their life. Like, there's a percentage there's a percentage of the customer base in any food service industry, in particular the made-to-order food service industry, where they strictly come into the restaurant so they can control a person or have control over one thing in their life because their life is so chaotic. Like Starbucks, Subway, this particular bagel burgers joint, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's a burgers place
You put
where
burgers
they
on
make
bagels?
bagel sandwich. Yeah, Brugger's. It's a bagel sandwich place, and
I
it's
don't know how I feel
they
about
had
that.
they were pretty good. But it wasn't just bagels, it was mostly deli sandwiches and cream cheese and shit like that. But yeah, there's a percentage of the customer base who does, they get bossed around by their significant other, or they get shit talked by their boss, or yelled at by their boss, or they just have no control over their kids. So what they do is they come in and they boss you around because you get paid to be their bitch for however long, and you have to take it because if you yell at them or if you make them, that's your business losing money, and then your boss yells at you. So it's just this vicious cycle. So you just, put your head down and you do the work. But that day I was pretty stressed out from some other things, and then they were doing that whole shtick, so I got super pissed in the face section while being happy. So I probably looked kind of like I had a very happy affect, but my face was like just like death stare.
So you said you were pissed in the face section. Well,
yeah, I was. I want
my
you to
tone.
Draw
this face for me.
I want
you to copy this face and like take a picture of this.
Show us this face, because I would like to see this face.
It's not something I can just create artificially. I have to have genuine anger. But it was just me. I probably looked psychotic because I was smiling and like my tone didn't really display any anger. But I had this
Well,
death
that's kind of. Well, are you sure you were smiling? Because from what it sounded like at
maybe
first,
I wasn't
it was just
smiling.
Like
I can't remember.
It would be like your voice is gentle, but your face like just shows the rest of your
You have
anger.
that Hannibal Lecter look going on.
Probably, honestly, I don't remember. Like
licking your lips.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted their liver with a side of Chianti. No, or was it their kidney? I can't remember. It was probably the kidney.
Kidney.
Now that I think about it. Yeah, it's kidney. Yeah, so I mean, I can't remember. What? It's not the liver. Look it up. Okay, whatever. The point is, I was obviously, the point is, I was obviously upset, and for whatever reason, they immediately stopped saying stuff, and then just went over to the register. So they seemed to, I don't know. And then I reflected, and like, maybe I was looking angry or something.
I've only ever been I was a busboy and a waiter for a summer for the same restaurant. So this is the first time I ever worked in the food industry. And it was on like a beachfront restaurant in this beach town, and everybody, stuck up, snobbish, everybody was just a prick. They were either coming in just for coffee, and they take up a table, and they stay there for a half hour, and all they order is fucking coffee, which is a pain in the ass, because you have paying customers who are sitting there waiting, and they want breakfast, and they're paying customers, and I get a bigger tip when there's people buying stuff. So that's what I learned, like, just how these people come in, they just use these tables to just do whatever the fuck they want at sometimes, or just I've seen the best customers in the world. Sometimes I've seen the worst customers in the world. Sometimes I've had some guy trying to smoke a cigar in an inside table seating, and he's yelling at me. He's like, "Why can't I smoke this?" I'm like, "You can't smoke this here. Like, there are children. First off, there's children right here, and we're inside, and you also can't smoke in restaurants. So that's 3 reasons why you should probably put out your fucking cigar." And like this big Italian fucking muscly guy is like screaming at me, and I'm like, you know me, I'm teeny weeny. And like this is like the bravest I've ever felt at like a job or something like that, because I'm just like yelling at this guy, and I'm just a busboy. So Yeah, that's it. And then he stopped because I yelled at him. And that was cool.
Oh, you yelled? Okay.
What,
Oh, yeah.
what were you
this is-
yelling him about, though? What was the whole conversation or argument about?
Did you not hear?
Sam,
I don't
we've not
think
listened
Zach's
to
paying
anything
Oh, was it the
you just
cigar?
said.
Was it the cigar story?
Yes.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
that was
Zach,
okay.
did you have a
Yeah,
stroke?
too.
Stop
Do we need to
working.
be- Do we need to be
God,
concerned about
I just felt like
He's trying to
I don't
replicate
know.
his face.
He's trying. No, he saw red and
He's
he's
having
trying to calm
flashbacks.
down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on cooldown currently. No, I just.
Oh, I
like,
also learned
I
you should never ask somebody how they did on tips, because I've had the maddest anybody ever looked at me was I said, "How'd you do last night?" Because she worked the night shift, and she just wanted to choke my head off. I'm like, "What's wrong? What did I do?" She's like, "You never asked that fucking question." I'm like, "I didn't know that. Sorry." So that's the second time I
Yeah.
ever got maddest. That was the second time I ever got the maddest at my job.
That's I mean, I've never heard
I
of
didn't know
like.
that was a thing.
No, you don't ask about the amount. You just ask.
I
like,
asked how she did, and she wanted
Yeah,
to
that's.
eat my
She
face.
probably had a bad night and she wanted
Yeah.
to eat your face. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
She had the Zach face.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Well,
don't like being angry, but when I do get angry, it seems to.
Then we
Frighten
don't like you
people.
when you're angry.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, me, I'm just
So
glad
I was
I'm leaving
recording,
my customer service job. So,
Yeah, good on you.
yeah. To go
So
work.
I was
also
editing,
customer service, but-
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
keep interrupting.
go for it. You're editing. What are you editing?
I was editing the last podcast, and I'm still like, I remember this. This was the podcast with Mark Gardner, and Zach was trying to say the word consumer, and he kept saying consumptioner. And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make up words," and those others like, "You can't do that. You're not fucking Shakespeare." And I remember in the podcast, I'm like laughing my ass off, and as I'm listening to this and editing it, I'm still dying laughing. That's probably the funniest thing I still have heard in a long time.
It's because
So-
I'm a fucking comedic genius.
That's still, I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You're not fucking Shakespeare.
I
don't know
will
why,
make
but it
that
was like,
happen for you
it was
somehow,
just the
TJ.
timing, and it's perfect because it's like really intelligent
actually,
joke too.
yeah,
and
actually,
it was good.
if we can make a shirt, like design a shirt with that quote on it, like
Mhm.
you just print like a a one-time batch type thing.
One-time batch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limited edition run.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I'll
Teespring.
make it
I
as
smell
gold.
a Teespring.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Is it
And then on the
Just,
back, we could just put like all the
Zelda
words.
pointing at you saying you're not fucking Shakespeare? Like, what's the design? Or is it just like a picture of Shakespeare with like a cross sign in front of him?
Or is it just like Shakespeare with his hand in his his
Face-
hand on
face
his
palming
face in
Shakespeare.
disapprovement? Yeah, face. Yeah, face.
In
like,
disapprovement? There you go, making up fucking words
Disapprovement.
again.
Wait,
Listen.
Zach, you speak with a sophisticated vocabulary. At least you try to, but then you mess up more basic words.
I just feel like sometimes what I do is I
Your reach.
get a lot of words. I combine a lot of words on
can't words.
accident,
The fuck
and
is
I
that
just
quote?
roll with it.
Your reach
Just reach
overextends
and
your
grasp.
grasp. Maybe?
Your grasp
No,
out. Your reach.
I can't
out
fucking remember
extends-
the
Wait,
quote.
hold on.
that's what I was trying
That
to say.
quote.
Different boats for different floats, Zach.
No. It's different. Different strokes for different folks.
Or it's whatever floats your
That
boat.
you were actually about to say boats.
boats and
So
house.
did you-
No,
Did you guys see the article about the woman who's suing her
Oh yeah,
nephew,
that was. I was
her
on my Twitter
12-year-old
last night.
nephew, for hugging her too tightly and possibly hurting her wrist, and her life has fallen apart because of it.
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a legal thing that's allowed? Like,
Oh,
that
No,
doesn't
she
make sense.
did. They tried to take it to court, and they're just like, "Fuck you, lady." But
Oh,
this is a
thank
woman who
gosh.
tried to sue her. At the time, he was 8 when he gave her a hug at his birthday party. She showed up, and he came in. She says he hugged me just too tightly. He was out of control, and
If
apparently
anything,
she hurt
that's
her
a
wrist.
sue of the parents thing. The child at that
No,
age
well,
is
she
not
wasn't-
responsible for it.
She wasn't actually suing her nephew. She was trying
Okay.
to sue the homeowners insurance that his parents have, so that she
But
Okay.
didn't because
she had to have surgeries and other things. Like she was
Right.
actually injured.
but
so-
she's blaming the child.
She has to make a legal claim in order to have any of the surgeries that she had done to her hand in order to pay. She can't pay those by herself. Her insurance won't pay them.
But
So
Well,
she has
then
to
she
sue.
shouldn't have had the
Child.
surgeries, because that's the point of pre-authorization.
Sure. I mean,
Having gone through surgery, that's how you
I
do
think
shit.
it's a dick move, and I
Oh
think
my
there's probably
God.
better ways
I'm
of
reading
doing
this
it.
100%
article.
dick
This gets
move.
worse and worse as I go.
It's pretty bad.
Mhm.
How does it get worse from that point?
Because the kid's mom died?
She died a year ago.
The mom that so at the kid's birthday party, he jumped into her arms and in her efforts to catch him, broke her wrist. She says it causes her great pain. Where's my favorite one? It causes her great pain, and she still has trouble holding things. It also makes it very difficult to go up the stairs.
How?
Because you have to hold the handrail probably.
Apparently the little boy who lost his mother last year looked very confused while sitting in a courtroom with his father. And oh my god.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Maybe that there was like life insurance and the aunt's
Why
trying to get
even
some money.
involve
Did the
the
judge
kid?
did this go to
The
hearing, or
kid
did the judge
for
immediately
also,
throw
like,
it
$1
out? I
million
didn't get that far.
Yeah, they gave her $1 in the claim. I think they gave her $1, and it's just like that's like the ultimate.
some
fuck
Trading
you
Places
legally.
shit.
That's
right
that's
there.
kind of better than losing the case. Like,
It's like, where is your head at when you think, okay,
And
th-
what
this-
kind of
this
fucked
is-
up familiar
this is a clear
relationship
money
do you have
grab.
when you sue your
everyone
family?
will understand my case. I'm going to sue this child.
what I want to know is how she's related to it. Like, is she the sister of the dead mom? Is
I don't
this
know, they didn't
dad's
say.
sister? Like, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, because if it's like, I could never imagine the sister of the dead mom doing something like that. You know, like that's just.
She's
How?
already.
You'd be
Okay,
surprised.
you're assuming she has any kind of moral ground at all. She's
Fair
suing a 12-year-old for a hug, so I don't think it would really have that much of an impact on her. Be like, oh, also your mom / my sister died. As her final wish, give me $54,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
$127,000.
Oh
I was
gosh.
grieving too.
What the fuck?
All right,
Yeah.
fucking. So I.
Well, you want some
God,
good
no.
news, guys? Do you want some like happy-go-lucky bamf, like a badass motherfucker who did really awesome today?
Sure.
Awesome. So, another news, 37-year-old mother of 2 just became the 3rd woman to complete the Army Ranger course.
That's fucking awesome.
Isn't it? It's like more impressive, like, it's awesome that she's like setting a standard, and she like in the article that I was reading previously, she talked about how there should be an equality standard set for both men and women in the force, and you know she talked about how like in a combat zone, if you had to carry 300 pounds, that 300 pounds is always going to weigh 300 pounds. You know,
Yeah.
and
I fully agree with
you
that.
should, yeah. And it's also what's crazier to me is that she's fucking 37 years old.
Yeah.
Like this program, the Ranger program, tears and eats people alive who are in their prime, their physical and mental prime. So it's awesome. It's like just that much. That makes her that much more of a badass. And her name is Lisa Jaster.
Shout out to Lisa Jaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some good news, right? That like
Yeah.
sort of
that's
wipes away the nastiness of the previous topic. I feel.
crazy badass.
For real though.
What do the Army Rangers do? What are their main jobs in the Army?
They're spec ops, kinda.
Like they're
Who's a
they're
spec ops
Trooper.
person.
kind of like the Navy has the
They're-
SEAls, the
Yeah,
Marines
the
have
Army-
the Delta, and then Army has the
The Army
Rangers.
has the Rangers. Yeah.
So are they the people who do the most dangerous missions, most high-profile missions? Are they the most skilled?
They're more skilled than the current branch that they reside in, so they're the best.
little more
of the best
specialized,
of
I guess
that
you could
particular
say.
branch. And probably more specialized as well. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like they're the cream.
They
of
have
the
level
crop of
7
the Army.
clearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
They're Phil Coulson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just very like they go in and secure targets. Like they'll paratroop behind the enemy lines and then spend 5 or 6 days getting to a terrorist safe house and then clear it out or capture the terrorists alive, depending on whatever the objective their mission has.
Jeez,
So.
I'm watching the stream right now, and it looks like a scene out of the Lone Ranger with meets Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Zombie cowboy. Weird as fuck.
Oh,
That just Metal Gear in a nutshell. Zombie cowboy. Whatever. And a giant
really
mech.
Interesting hearing coming outside sources describing him, because that was untouched.
So can you
editing-wise.
replace the mechs now with giant boobs ladies?
No. The mechs
Can't do that yet?
the mechs are mechs.
That I'd like to see, actually.
I mean,
that'd be some cool editing.
Crossed my mind, but the models and programming that goes into the
It crushed
robot
your
is a lot
mind.
farther. Though there is someone I saw that on like the Nexus Mod Manager that replaced all birds with that giant robot that you saw there, and so it was just birds or that robot flying around in a T pose. Still that size, so clipping through everything.
Yeah.
So I finished recording all of TFT Smash over the weekend.
Woo!
Right on.
So it was awesome.
Team We Have a Fucking Dragon represent. What up?
Team fucking Dragon. True. No, so I recorded all the footage this week, and now I have to spend 42 gigs worth of footage.
It's a lot of footage.
Jesus Christ.
So I have to sift through that, and it's all gonna be useful. Like I can't there's not a lot that I'm editing out, so it's all gonna be heavy editing for a while.
Are you gonna split it as well? You should probably just split it, right?
What do you mean split it?
Fights. Like you slice. Is this all one?
you slice-
No.
section?
They're all individual. Like each match,
fuck.
say it's like 4 minutes long. That's a gig.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh, wow.
I record a very high definition. So,
Whoa, okay.
like
Does
six-
Smash
four-
come with that high definition?
PlayStation thing, or not PlayStation, Wii thing. That's interesting.
Say it again.
It's just interesting that it's that high a quality recording.
For Wii,
well,
Wii does
The Wii has
1080p.
Yeah, 1080p. It's a pretty good console.
What's your frames per second?
It's just 30. I didn't do 60 or 29.97.
That's really high.
Mhm.
Because I could stream for like 2 hours in 1080. Well, I mean, on my Elgato on record, that's like maybe 2.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a.
It depends. It depends on the quality, but I'm streaming I'm recording almost the best possible quality that I can record at because I want it to look good. So it's 42 gigs, and now I have to edit it all down. I have to do all the graphics and shit like that.
Oh Jesus!
And it's probably gonna amount to about 12 episodes this time.
That'd be awesome.
So that's your series. That's your baby.
And
Yeah,
you
so
said
don't
the
ask me to edit anything
the commentary is like the last step.
Yeah, the commentary is pretty much the last step, and I'm thinking through this right now, how I'm going to do commentary, because a lot of people want to be involved with commentary, and I'm thinking oh, I could totally do that, and then I'm thinking about the logistics of it. I'm like, oh wait, so if I do it with one group and then do another group, they have to have seen the prior episodes to understand what the fuck to talk about. So I have to spoil these people who want to commentate before even the show. So I have to finish, if I wanted to do that, I have to finish and edit every single episode, and then record the first 3 with a team, and then go to the next team and watch these first 3 episodes, and then record with them, and so on and so forth. So I'm figuring out those kind of logistics too. I didn't think about that stuff beforehand. So I'm gonna make it work, but
Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to have the exact same people that were in the match and whatnot. 'Cause I was about to say, well, what if you did just it tournament style, where you just had each people from each round do it, and then the commentators that were commentating the winners moved on, but that'd be a little too complicated and doesn't even make sense.
we're dangerously close to making this logistics meeting, not a podcast. All right, I'll stop talking about it.
I love how you just
say
read
that.
the
You don't have to
message
type
aloud. Why do you do that, Tejan? Jen's obviously, or excuse me, Lozelda's trying to be discreet, and then you're like, no, I'm going to read it aloud to everybody for the
I'm
future.
not supposed to read that out, you dumb. That's
Disappointed.
I'm on the same page as you, Lozelda. I get
Thank
it.
you.
No, it goes back
I
to
get
when
it.
you were texting us in the panel, and I'm reading them out loud. I'm like, I'm looking at him this is fine. This is not on fire. This is totally fine. We're gonna do great.
TJ, we need to have a lesson
Teaching
with
is
you.
the dog in the meme that's everything is totally fine while the
This is
room is
fine.
on
This
fire
is
around
fine.
you.
Yes.
Fine,
I
yeah.
love that's my favorite fucking picture on the internet. It really is.
Because it can apply
Yeah.
to so many different situations. I do like
It
it.
really, really can. And I there's 4 more panels of that comic strip of the dog dying and lit on fire. But the first 2, the one that you always see, it's the dog just sitting there, and then every room is on fire. It's this is fine. Everything is
So
fine.
that's obviously a clear case of a good meme. This meme that I've currently been encountering in the YouTube comments and more so on Twitch is this hiss. Like,
What?
I've
does anyone-
never seen this thing that
Yeah, I
you're
don't know what
talking
you're
about.
talking
okay, just try looking
Is
for
it-
it. It's like they're being.
What do you mean try
reptile-
looking for it? Just like open random
It's-
fucking YouTube videos?
No,
I
it's,
don't
like,
want to
everywhere.
sink into a cesspool.
What do you mean it's
of
everywhere? It
bullshit.
can't be everywhere because I have
I
not
don't-
seen. I've never heard of
If
this.
it's a new meme, then we're not going to have run into it yet. most
Find an
likely.
example of it right now.
Yeah,
and
if you
then-
can, find
Okay,
examples.
If it's so
especially-
prominent, you'll find it real quick.
Okay, there was
Well-
there.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, Zach
there was
is
a
looking for that.
There was a. Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
There's a
Jesus.
tweet.
I'm not going to get this
There's a
story out
tweet.
tonight at all. Anyway,
Tell a story.
so we've all watched like Marvel movies and Fox movies, and we're like, they don't like talk to each other ever. Something really fucking huge happened today, where Marvel is actually going to produce X-Men TV shows for Fox, which is pretty cool.
Really now?
Yeah, one of them is a period piece. It's called The Hellfire Club, which is set in the '60s, which is going to be pretty
Right.
fucking cool. And the other one is actually based on Legion, which is Charles Xavier's son, and it's just called Legion. And he's gonna like figure out that he's not schizophrenic and that he's actually like hearing voices. Like he's a really powerful. What is Legion's power set again? Tejan, do you remember?
I do not.
Anyway, I think he's a like telepath, but like way beyond Xavier, and like he ends up like bringing about the end of the world in a couple different comic books. Which I'm curious to see how they make him the protagonist in the TV show, because he's traditionally a bad guy, like a tragic bad guy. So I'm curious to see how that plays out in the TV realm. Because if Marvel says they're going to do it, there's a good chance it's actually going to see the screen. Because there's not a lot of times they say they're going to do something and then it gets scrapped. So this is pretty big news. Because then it might
They do like to push it back a lot.
True, but they don't outright get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole thing with this whole Phase 3 thing is like, they did not think Ant-Man was going to be the success it did. So like, fuck yeah, we'll put a sequel on the slate that was not there. So something has to get pushed back. So that's why that happened, I think, more than anything else. But I'm curious to see where this goes. Because like maybe they'll eventually warm up to like having like Wolverine in the Avengers or stuff like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
It seems like some thawing of tensions. And we'll see what happens.
It's-
Especially with how shittily Fantastic Four did. Like that is the more thing for me.
Did you see it?
It was. I watched about a third of it and I walked out.
So you actually went to the movie.
Oh, I went for $4. So
Still. it's
I walked
$4
out. I was like,
badly
nope.
spent.
I wanted
Like,
to see how bad it was. It was as bad as everybody said.
I tried to watch the the new Ninja Turtles movie the other day, and I lasted 12 minutes.
I actually kind of liked that. It wasn't very good, but they nailed the turtles, their relationships to each other.
I just couldn't stand it. I don't know why. Like I don't even think I got to the turtles, man. Like I think everything.
Yeah,
else
the setup
so
was
bad.
bad.
Like I'm sitting there with Holly, and she's like, "I can't watch this anymore." I'm like, "I really can't watch this anymore."
Yeah. I am more optimistic for its sequel because they actually have a couple decent action actors in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
One being the guy who plays Green Arrow right now. He's going to be Casey Jones, which is pretty cool. 'Cause I like Stephen Amell,
Huh.
and
Okay.
he's a really. I mean, he plays an action, hero. That character very, very well. And I'm curious. And
the guy
towards
who's
the back
Green
half of the
Arrow?
movie, yeah, the guy who's on Arrow right now.
Yeah, he's
Towards the
awesome.
back half of TMNT, the Turtles showed up and they were like, okay, they actually have the relationship that they should have. There's humor. They sound like I would kind of expect them to. The look was not very good, but the interactions between them
I
wasn't
strongly
enough.
suggest the best Turtles right now is the cartoon.
Oh,
The
undoubtedly.
cartoon that's on right now is so good.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think it doesn't like the movie and everything they tried to do. I'm like, doesn't even compare.
No.
Turtles, their
Well,
first
Turtles
30
were
minute
made
episode
for comic books and
blew
TV.
that
They were
fucking
not
movie out of
made
the
for
water.
movies.
Yeah.
Because their stories are pretty serialized.
Well, like
that's
the
what they-
first Ninja Turtles movie, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Sure. Yeah.
Wart, you're not agreeing with me.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest movies.
One of the
I've ever
greatest
seen.
movies I've ever seen in your life. That's right.
No,
That's
it's
what
not.
you'd say.
That
I wouldn't
phrase
even put
came
it
out
in
of
my
my
top
mouth,
25.
but not in the context that you meant. Oh, Jesus, Tejan.
It's like well, I mean, I also really like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, good lord.
I love that movie. It's. I understand it's bad, and
So
it's
why don't
it's
you
not
like
it's
The
not
Room?
it's
I
not a
don't
so bad
understand.
it's good movie. I just think it's like
It's just super campy and cheesy.
I just love it. I don't know.
That-
Like I don't think
that was
I
actually-
understand people think it's bad. I don't think it's bad for everybody else who thinks it's bad. So it's not one of those. It's not like The Room where it's so bad it's good and everybody knows it's bad and you know it's bad, but it's hilarious because it's bad. No, this movie's just awesome.
You just
And I
I
don't care
think
if
you're
you think it
misusing the
sucks.
word awesome
yeah.
in a very big
For
way.
Tijan
Radical.
and Tijan Land, everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
And it's cool
You're
when
part
you're
of
part
a
of a
team.
team. Thanks for that,
Yeah,
Zach.
okay.
Anyway, the Super
I
Mario
found
Brothers.
the memes.
You
Okay.
found the meme.
I found the dankest meta memes of them all. No, so
Dank memes.
there's like
Hashtag.
literally no. There's like no context for it. It's just people commenting hiss and
So it's-
saying like leave a like and then hiss. And then today when I was a part of the Northern Lion stream where I was just watching Northern Lion play his games because he has a regular weekly stream, there was a whole bunch of chat saying hiss for no like they were acting like snakes or reptilians. And then I found a tweet that I recently saw today. It was by Chilled Chaos, a YouTuber that has quite a following.
Yes, Mana.
Not the right kind
No,
of
he has
chaos.
He has 1.1 million subscribers on YouTube, so you know he's kind of a thing. So he says, "I'm gonna strangle another mofo that says hiss." So I don't know what this is, and I'm gonna continue to do research, which I kind of hate because it's a fucking meme. But it's like, what the fuck is this? I
want
don't
I love
understand.
researching
Zach,
memes.
I want to
YouTube
Dank
is-
memes case file
YouTube-
research with you doing the narration.
Oh, that'd be so good.
YouTube comments just have things like that spawn, and then people that go to the same videos spray it to everywhere else. Like it
Yeah,
just
it's
takes
like
it becoming
spreading, like-
popular on one.
I
on
love
one
the
video.
comments like I'm here because of this video. Like somebody makes an obscure reference to a video
Yeah.
Oh,
and then everybody shows up because of that.
I have a good one that actually comes from this game.
Mm.
In the beginning of this game, it plays the song "The Man Who Sold the World." It's a particular version sung by an artist, like David Bowie sung it at one point, but it's this one person. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name.
Please do.
Someone posted a YouTube video like back in 2005 or 2002, even like a long time ago, of this song, and then now because it was featured in this game, suddenly the viewership shot up, and every single comment was a reference to this game.
It's like the I think it's Fallout. Like there's this song that plays in Fallout. It's like when we all go together when we go. You know what I'm talking about? I forget who sings it, but like it's like kind of a cheeky song, and it's in that game, and now everybody goes.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that fucking song because of that game.
Yeah. So, Lozelda, you found some stuff to explain why the fuck hiss is a
Yeah.
thing?
So apparently, you can't have been looking that hard to figure out what's going on.
Why did she have to do the research for you?
Because I literally
I
went
was
to Google and
researching.
typed in YouTube hiss comments, and the very first post
Oh.
explains exactly what the fuck
God
it
damn
is.
it, Zach.
What
Zach
the
Zach
fuck?
doesn't know
We
how to
send you
edit.
out on a mission, and you bring nothing.
Apparently,
Listen,
this is why
I
I'm
wasn't
the
using
Google
Google.
master. Alright, so apparently there is a YouTuber called
Google master.
Leafy is Here. And like, he's one of those people, he refers to his community as, you know, like the community as a name, and he calls it, the Reptilian Brotherhood. He makes a bunch of jokes about snakes and other reptiles all the time, and like, makes hiss jokes in that, so apparently his community of people, based on this Reptilian Brotherhood comment, identifier or whatever, is now just going around and posting hiss fucking everywhere
Oh,
as a thing
God,
for that.
why?
It started like just a couple days ago because it became relevant in a recent video he did.
Okay.
So it's like the theory on Reddit is this is going to be like any of those other like Reddit kind of YouTube kind of trends where it's like people are going to go fucking batshit with it for like a week, and then like the next video he puts out, it's all just going to be done and it's going to stop.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
I was
his is the
looking through the
reptilian
YouTube
army.
comments. Yeah, I was looking through YouTube comments and like Tumblr and like Twitter. I didn't
Listen, don't
take
go
the
to
time
Tumblr.
to just fucking Google it. I was
We've been
being
through
a
this.
goddamn.
We've been through
Zach,
counseling
did you
for
not see my journal post I made earlier? Fucking Google shit.
Yeah.
See, Zach
again,
was
you
saying
were a
a
professional
similar sort of
researcher.
question in the Doge chat that we have on Skype, and Steven used the website app. Let me Google it for you, which just automatically plays an animation of text going into the Google text box of whatever you want. And so it copied that, and then it actually hyperlinks right to Google as if you just Googled it.
See, I hate that in certain circumstances. Like, you're out with a group of friends, and you ask somebody a question, and they just like, I don't fucking know, Google it. And I'm like, well, I was asking because I wanted to hear what your explanation or your answer, or that I just tested your knowledge, and I wanted to see if you knew the thing. And people get so angry, just like, how dare you think that I know that? Or why would I know that? Just like, Google that. I'm like,
How dare you assume
normal
I'm smart?
conversation.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't have to pull out my fucking phone every 10 seconds. It was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother where they talked about how the bar conversation is like completely different now than because of the age of the smartphone. So like you don't just argue randomly and yell at each other and talk about random shit because you can look up stuff on your phone now. You can't just speculate as much as you could before because smartphones have ruined
the
everything.
only problem is that, of course, Google isn't perfect, and like sometimes one of the first answers that that even comes up is like Yahoo Answers.
But it's still like it's about you not knowing. It's just what comes from your own brain and it's the explanation.
Yeah.
So just assumptions and stupid conversations like that.
And now you can like say, "See, this is that."
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's also the fact that we can all fact check shit and actually speak the truth about things and be knowledgeable about things. But that's not as fun.
And
Right.
also, like when people like maybe Zach say certain things during podcasts and like that sets off Zilla's alarm.
Are never
Just like-
true. So I was thinking about this the other day. What are our fans called?
Well, haven't we been saying threads for the longest time?
Are they fellow threads? Are they threadheads?
They're lowercase t threads. That's
They're
what I would
lowercase
say.
t
That's my
threads.
vote.
Yeah.
They're not these threads. They're those threads.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not the ones who have been brought into the Brotherhood yet. That's threads.
Yeah.
They're not a part of the tapestry.
They're part of the spooldom, if
Not
you will.
a part of the tapestry.
I like that.
Yeah, the tapestry.
They haven't been woven in yet.
Yeah.
We make it sound like such a cult sometimes, do we not?
Well,
It's not a cult.
It is,
It's
right?
not a,
That's
we're
what
not-
I've
we're
been
not a
thinking
cult
the whole
sta-
time.
We haven't gotten like government subsidiaries. We're not a religion yet. Like we're not tax
Do
deductible
cults
yet. So.
get tax write-offs?
Yes.
There's probably a couple
If
cults
they're a
that have,
religion,
like
quote,
Scientology.
unquote.
That's
So,
considered a cult. And
Teaching
they
them
get-
we need you
like,
to become a
so-
reverend.
So that means if we actually acted like we practiced and like what wave was the prophet?
Oh, totally.
Could
Let's
we
pull
get
a John
attacked?
Oliver. Let's fucking do this shit. You guys seen that episode of him with the whole, his mega
Oh,
churches
yeah.
thing? Let's do that.
His mega church, yeah, I love that. John Oliver's a fucking genius.
No, what was it?
Okay, so he
I'm
had
not
a
Googling it.
whole rant. His whole premise is that he's going to talk about one topic for like 20, 25 minutes, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
for his HBO show, which is I think it's last week tonight, if memory
Mhm.
serves. One of his topics was mega churches and like preying on the poor, and it's called seed faith, where like you give so much money to the church over and over and over again, and then you're going to reap it back or whatever, because you
Mhm.
planted a seed with your money. And his whole thing was like, the government doesn't do anything about them. They give these tax breaks to do all this kind of stuff, and they know it's predatory. And it was a great bit, and in the end, he actually set up a megachurch with himself as the reverend, took in like over like 1.2 million in donations or something like that, and then it was up for 2 weeks, donated it all to charity the night before his next show.
People actually donated.
Yeah, a shitload of money.
That's funny.
Because it was in the disclaimer, it was like right in the little bottom of his text, it said, all donations will be sent directly to this charity.
That's really
Yeah,
funny.
it was
It's
a really
like
good
when,
bit.
Stephen Colbert had a super PAC.
Exactly. That was, he won a Peabody for that, didn't he?
Did he really?
Yeah, because it was. I used it when I was teaching.
Mhm.
When I was student teaching is when it happened, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the world you guys are in right now because you're 18. Welcome to it."
Have you seen the new the Tonight Show with him?
I've watched a few things. I watched the Joe Biden interview and the Ted Cruz interview.
That was a really good interview.
Dude, if Biden doesn't run, I'm gonna be pissed because he's the only one who's like, "All right, you are worth a vote." The other ones,
I liked what some people said on the
How about that
I-
Sanders
debate
guy?
last night.
I don't.
mean,
Sanders does not have the staying power to win, and I'm not gonna vote for Hillary. Just not gonna.
I'm definitely still between those two. I like them the most. I mean, I didn't think Martin O'Neill said anything
Nah.
bad. He said everything he was supposed to say. So
Yeah.
he's like, but he didn't make any impact.
Yeah,
And then the other two guys just like
they were
there.
there.
They were there for
Still
fodder.
vote.
Yeah. But yeah, if Biden runs,
Do
it's
never
his in the
ever
bag.
fucking say that, Zach.
I have never
Don't-
voted since the age of
fucking
18.
vote. You have to vote.
I'm 21.
Don't not
What do you
vote.
mean I
That's
have to
stupid.
vote?
You're making. You're
At
not
least
making
vote
a
in your local
statement.
elections, at the very
Yeah.
least.
That's
That's where you're going to make the biggest impact.
Don't
with
go
your
into
vote.
anything with that mentality. I'm sorry. Don't fucking not vote.
Why do you let's go with this? Why don't you vote? Because
Ah.
it's not. You can't say it's too difficult because
And don't
No.
say you don't feel like doing the research.
No, I don't care at all.
That's not. You can't. That's That's a bad mentality.
I
I'm sorry to
feel
jump down your throat
listen.
like that,
Then
but-
come November.
Politics is the only thing I have this mentality for, because every politician is owned by some lobbyist or by some big company, and they all have to make their money that way because of how the system is set up.
The entire politics system. It
just-
might actually have more repercussions, especially at
Used
the
to be.
local level.
I used to be
But
extremely passionate
overall,
about.
there's been
that happens
so
when
many...
people don't get involved.
Yeah.
I'm
Bad
extremely
things happen when
passionate.
people don't care.
That's exactly.
It's you're feeding into the cycle. I mean, that's the problem. It's like Teachin's saying, it's the people who don't care that won't go and vote to make the change, so the problem persists, and then people continue to not vote because their problem's still there. And it's like nothing different's going to happen if you don't try to do something about it. Well,
Sure.
in high school, I had
was...
a government class, and of course, government and politics, and like that teacher, that was fucking way too many years ago, like 12 years ago. And the one thing I remember from this class is this teacher comes in and he's like, if you refuse to participate in the process, you have no right to complain about it. So so it's like, if you're not going to vote, if you're just like, I don't want to vote, or I can't be bothered to vote, or whatever the fuck it is, you no longer get to say anything about the fact that you don't agree with this politician or this policy or anything like that, because you had your chance. You had your chance, and you didn't take it, so fuck you.
Yeah.
You said the fuck you part, but I put that in there for flavor.
I haven't, and I often don't. And if there was a politician worth voting for, I would vote. I do research. I check out some of the candidates here and there.
I think Biden would be
I vote
there.
for policies here and there too, like the ones that matter, like passing gay rights and shit like that. But it doesn't even matter anymore because of the federal thing that happens.
Actually,
but it doesn't
totally
not still matter
it
anymore.
Totally
this is still a
matters.
fucking argument.
The fight, it's
No,
never,
no, no,
it's not
I'm
just
I'm
done.
talking about-
That doesn't happen.
Because
Because you got guys like freaking Mike Huckabee who's like, oh, hey, this woman who broke the law, she's a champion of faith. No, she fucking broke the law.
No, yeah.
But
well, yeah,
the whole
she
thing
broke
is,
the law.
like, you can make a difference. Like, just this
People
past
like that get into office because people don't vote.
Yeah.
People who like have these
Especially
opinions and
all the
thoughts.
small elections,
have too
which
much
actually
apathy.
add up to bigger ones. Like, sure, the major election, that's a good thing, but every other election, the people that make and change your lives on a daily basis,
which is your
not exactly the president, at least not 24/7.
no.
It's important to always get involved and to your vote counts for something. And even though it's again, that's how our system works. We have a two-party system, and you might be voting for the lesser of two evils, but there's still one way to move forward and one way to move backwards.
See the
and
battle
when
for the
you
net.
express, you are doing your duty. You're voicing, even if you're just voting and not getting involved and stuff like that. That's still important.
I
And
get involved when it comes to like local.
Get involved
what are those-
local. Get
what are those
involved.
things called? What are those things called?
Did you email your congressman for the battle for the net?
Yes, I emailed
Well,
and I called. Thank you very much.
Made a fucking
that's-
difference.
that's
How do
good.
they?
You're making
if
a
a lot of people
contribution.
do that, how do they go through those emails?
They have it. They have
They
shitloads
don't.
of people. Like
They have people that again.
Yeah.
If enough people say stuff, if enough
What are
people
those-
they have
they're
to listen.
What are those local laws or state laws that you sign or you vote
Bills?
for?
oh, those are
Not
like
bills.
ordinances,
Proposals?
referendums, things like that.
Proposals, yeah, there we go. Proposals, yeah. I get involved with a lot of proposals locally here in Arizona.
Good for
when it
you.
comes to
And you're
Yeah,
in a
that's
state that like
involved
you
in
kind of
that.
have to because it's a border state.
yes,
It's like
yes.
grinds my
There's
gears.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens, and I used to be way more passionate about politics, but it's just like
Again, you're 21, so I mean
Yeah.
you've only been involved in one election. So
Yeah.
don't say you haven't voted. Like
Actually,
you're gonna
the only
be-
election was back when I first met Zach.
you're still forming an
and
opinion.
Crew and
I mean,
that
I
whole
had
thing.
an opinion, but it changed when
But
I
you're
became
growing
more
up.
And that's a
enlightened.
good thing.
you're-
Opinions are
You're
supposed to change.
developing a mature
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah,
and
true.
don't let it turn into apathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Let yourself feel things, express things, talk about it, stuff like that.
Yes.
You know, don't just say fuck it.
Yep.
I mean, it's only one part of my life.
It's
pretty
part
big
of
part.
all of our lives.
yeah, yeah.
The government
I
is a pretty
suppose.
big part, unfortunately.
Yeah.
especially in America.
Yeah, we all acknowledge that the system doesn't work, but it's not going to work unless we, the people. I sound corny, I know, but
It's still
express our
apt.
voice and do stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that's what
Fair
invokes
enough.
change.
Hey, we just had a
That's-
politics conversation on the podcast,
That
and,
was
and
a
it
good
didn't
one,
get
though.
cut off.
Yeah.
Yep. It didn't.
There was this one guy in the debate yesterday. All he did was complain about how much time he got, and I'm like, dude, you have your platform. Talk, do your
Yeah,
thing.
like-
Don't talk about the time.
And going into a
And
debate,
Anderson Cooper
he has
ate
got
him
to know he is
alive.
not the main guy. There are two people who are front runners. Of course, they're going to get more
Wait,
airtime.
wait.
That's
It was
the point.
it was someone going for debate that didn't actually debate anything.
Well, no,
Well,
he wasn't able to get his voice. He wasn't able to get any questions. He kept like raising his hand to have points, and he wasn't called on a lot. Like but he would openly complain about it after.
Yeah.
He wasn't just
Yeah,
like
you gotta
he
know
wouldn't
that going
jump
in.
in on his moments correctly. He
It's a
would just
media show.
complain about
He's
it.
not.
Yeah.
He's not going to get the time.
Yeah.
I
Like-
think this debate was a lot more constructive than the Republican debate.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah,
It was.
because you didn't have like Donald Trump like trying to high five or like just make weird faces that could turn into gifs in like 10 seconds.
Did you
Yeah.
see the Super Mario 64 GIF? You know how you can mess with his face at the beginning of the game, the loading screen?
No.
In Super Mario 64?
Oh, okay, you're going 64.
Okay, so somebody had a GIF of Trump's face and all the expressions that he made, and it was like the little hand moving the parts around, and it was like beautiful. It was like perfectly synced up. I'll look it up, but it was like it was like a Vine or a GIF or something like that. But
very
it's really well done.
Perfect. Right on. I'll have to look at that. I don't know. I feel like
I'm gonna go look for it.
the fact that Trump can run and that he actually does have some support just makes me hate life.
Interestingly
but
enough, it's more of a polling thing right now because like
I
polls
really
are
wanna
really
know.
really accurate to the point where they almost kind of break the electoral system. Because like people are like,
Yeah.
oh, they see he's winning, so I'm not going to vote. But like it's really weird with Trump because it's kind of happened before in the 80s with somebody that was going to go up against Reagan. He was polling really really well, and I cannot remember the guy's name. I know the name of the effect because I had to study it in college, but where the polls were like, oh, he's like 30% ahead, 10%. He got 10%
Low
of
beat
the
me
vote.
to it.
Freaking
Yep.
Told you, I'm the queen of fucking Google, man.
She is, dude. Like,
So,
If it exists on the internet,
Wait.
I will find it.
wait, are you saying that he has a chance to actually go far in the
No,
actual
he does.
elections?
He doesn't.
Okay.
particularly
Nobody
he
for
doesn't
me,
have a.
if Biden runs, Trump is just done because nobody can really assail Biden on the points that everybody else is assailing each other on because he doesn't have those pitfalls. Like he didn't do anything stupid with national security like Clinton. He's not a socialist like Sanders. So, and he's been in office, which you can't say for Trump, and he's done a very good job in office,
Yeah.
which you can't
I
say
would
for
probably
most of
vote-
the Republican side. And you can't have the religion argument against him either because the dude's like a really hardcore Catholic and has been super logical about how he handles that in office. So you
Yeah.
That's
can't
awesome,
do that.
actually.
So like,
Yeah.
if he
I'm-
runs, he literally cannot lose.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't say cannot
You-
because I wouldn't want to make
Yeah.
that statement, but like, it's
He'd have a
everything
good-
is set
he'd
up.
have good
I'm-
legs.
I'm meaning like
Biden-
it's set up.
It
like, if-
well,
Biden
it feels
doesn't
like
wanna
it's
be
pretty
vice
much it's
president.
a.
I don't think he wants to be president.
I don't think so either. But if he does, I mean, A, he would have my vote, but B, everything is set up to go down the path of like he has trump cards on everybody in the in the race. And yes, that was on purpose.
Nice. That was a good one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that does make a lot of sense. I was leaning towards Sanders when it comes to voting.
I mean, he would be the most transformative candidate for sure because he's the only thing that's
Yeah.
vastly different.
I like,
And also-
again, he
also I-
might not have some of the best platforms, but he does inspire
Oh yeah,
a lot of people.
and
which is
he's the most
good.
consistent by far. He has said the same things for like 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he at least inspired, and if he's doing something good for the party at least, which is good, because he was an independent, but he's bringing together like kind of like this passion, and he's making everyone, he's turning everyone, and he's making them be more clear about what they say. They can't flip flop because Bernie Sanders is going to call them out on their shit. So if he doesn't win, he's still helping the party. I think he's good for the group, and I think they're starting to realize that because
Yeah.
people are trying to be like, he's far left, so people have to like kind of like be in that middle left ground, be progressive. Like Hillary said it yesterday, you know, like she's progressive, but she's realistic at the same time. Like that was a good quote from her because it's perfectly exemplifies her position
Plus,
versus Bernie Sanders.
Sanders would be
So-
coming into a Republican house, so
Yeah.
and they have the money.
So there's room to. Man, we're really getting into it.
Hey, go for it.
Does everybody else care about this conversation?
Why do you
I'm
think
still
we're
intrigued.
right? Yeah.
One funny thing about
no.
Sanders, just because it's happened to him in different cities, was like he'd get like mobbed by like Black Lives supporters and stuff like that. Like he was actually like at MLK's speech in '63, and the Black Lives people are like protesting and like breaking up his rallies and stuff. It's like
I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to take, again, they find potential in him as well, so they're being the most vocal around him to make sure that this is the guy who will get behind us. And he has. He's listened to the Black Lives Matter campaign. And he's like, he like, there's been clear communication there. Like, they made a bad PR move doing what they did with their rallies and stuff like that. But, like, again, it was a campaign for them to, again, stay relevant. And it was it was technically a smart move for them, but a bad move at the same time. So it's like, if you're sympathetic to that, stuff like that, it's a good cause, but it's also fuel for the fire, people who are totally against anything they say. So it's like double-edged sword there.
Very true.
Lucas likes the politics.
yeah, because he's learning how to America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas, just come here.
Just
Come to us.
Lots of yelling at each other. And
What
swearing.
Wales is
what
great,
version do
I
we have over
understand.
there? How's their government go?
It's very similar,
Eh.
but different.
I don't
I
know
mean, they
anything
vote.
about the Wales government. Are they under the...
It's-
Is
Lucas,
that what
they're more
makes them very
socialist.
similar? The fact that they vote? Is that what you just
The
said?
fact that they are a democracy, yeah.
Wait.
Like
More
that
of a-
makes them that puts them in the same Venn diagram as us.
So how would you classify
Doesn't
as
it?
America? Because I want to understand where we're
Well,
going with here.
America's a republic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, good point.
Okay.
High blue
You
fire.
passed there.
The
You got 1 point on a test from me. Just saying.
I appreciate it. It's been a few years since I've taken a government class or.
Elon, you missed all the politics.
Yeah, you missed all the.
Well, I'm also
politics
glad he
and
got here,
stuff.
because if he hasn't gotten to this point in the game, then he would have seen, like, the ending I
I
just
just saw
went
the
through.
credits.
Yeah, like, he
That
would
was
have...
a
you
really
playing the
long
same
I hope
version
he
again?
didn't see that. Because I don't want to have already... Yes, it is, Eli.
He's got
Yes,
questions
yes, it
about
is.
quiet. Yeah. But it's just like I feel like I know for a fact it's more socialist. For Britain, I just don't. I never actually took the time to pay attention to Britain's structure because that's not what you learn. I mean, there's a
Queen-
few
the
chapters,
Queen does
but you
nothing.
don't really learn. Yeah, the Queen's a figurehead, and she's just there because
Hello!
the Prime Minister is basically the president, and then they have a what is it called? It's not. Is it called? It's not a Congress, is it?
Lucas, how we doing?
They have a thing.
How's Zach doing? I guess I should say.
They have. I know the Prime
having a
Minister is
stroke.
basically the equivalent of the president, but they may have more power. And then they have a Congress. Which I'm not sure is separated like our Congress is.
Zach, at this point, if you don't know, just start making shit up.
Yeah,
It's a lot more
just be
fun.
like,
A lot
there's a
more
house
funnier.
of sausages
Funnier.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wear these hats and wigs. It's nice.
There was a wig party.
powdered wigs.
They have to
So-
wear the puffy wigs and then they put the top hats
May
on.
have just did it dumb.
You did it
What did
dumb?
you do?
Yeah, I realized the whole time we probably could have had Dark join because I'm running a Veyor. Oops.
Oh well. I mean,
My
we're
bad.
we're pretty much we're an hour, 5 minutes.
Yeah, he
in?
could have joined like any
mean,
time.
yeah.
I've been recording the entire Skype call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
Do I want to read that Twitch chat out loud? Do you want me to?
God
The
damn
forum
it.
thread. How's your schedule next week? Okay. Stuff. Why is there not a middle finger emoji?
Oh,
I don't
Parliament.
know.
Parliament. That's what
Oh
it's
yeah,
called.
by the way,
Thank you,
Lon,
Lucas.
good luck on the surgery.
Yeah, good luck.
Meant to tweet that out.
So do we wanna call it?
I
Does anybody have any else to talk about?
I got nothing. I've had a very boring time lately.
Oh. Oh well, this was
Oh.
entertaining, right?
Oh, yeah, this was great.
Good.
Some fun.
Especially the part where Zach didn't pay attention to the conversation and you read the text chat out loud. It was awesome.
Perfect. Mhm.
I mean, I only wasn't paying attention for 2 seconds, but that 2 seconds mattered apparently.
It always
Everything matters in this podcast, Zach. It's
Of
how you
course
miss things
it does.
Like,
We may
like
have
creepy
to
echidna
get you out of the
penises
tapestry
and...
and replace you with a different thing.
Oh,
You can't replace me, my friend.
So thanks
Not
everybody
yet,
for watching
anyway.
the show. This has been the Forum Thread Podcast. Thanks to everybody in our Twitch chat tonight, and everybody's going to listen to this podcast at some point in the future. You can find us on Twitter at the Forum Thread, or you can follow our gameplay Twitter at TFT Plays. You can find us on YouTube, TFT Productions, and TFT Plays. That's our gaming channel. Follow that one. Do we have any series coming out soon?
We have some Don't Starve
Halloween
and the Binding of
themed
Isaac
stuff, right?
Rebirth. Yep, Halloween stuff.
Halloween
and we
themed
have
stuff.
Soma
Look
coming
forward
up,
to
too.
that. Lo, what are you streaming right now?
I'm streaming Half Minute Hero. You have 30 seconds to save the world. And
That
tomorrow,
must be the shortest stream ever.
yeah, it's pretty awesome actually. I'm having a ton of fun with it. So I'm almost done with that one. And then tomorrow, Link is actually on the stream with me.
Nice.
And we're gonna play a game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
I heard of that.
Oh,
I don't
love
know
this
anything
game.
about the plot of
How does that work?
It's
so
great.
So apparently, one of us has a bomb, and the other person has a manual for the bomb, and he can't look at the bomb. Like, he's gonna have the manual, I'm gonna have the bomb. He can't look at the bomb, and I can't look at the manual. I have to describe to him what I'm seeing, and he's
That's
gotta figure out how to
amazing.
tell me what to do.
It's so good.
I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to physically set that up, so that way he can still be picked up on the microphone.
You and Zach should try to imagine.
Oh, fuck.
Zach could do it by himself.
Zach, you
He
get
never
the
runs
manual.
out of
Like,
Wait,
wait,
Zelda
what
gets
happened
the
2
bomb.
seconds ago? I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention.
it's apparently a game that's designed to work really well with VR because you got the headset on, so of course you can't see
Oh,
anything.
damn.
Of course, nobody can see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to work well on just a regular PC as well. So we're gonna try that, and if it goes well, I'll actually be streaming it next week again on Thursday with Tina. So Tina Dayton. So that'll be a hoot and a half. Hopefully, my marriage does not blow up with my bomb.
Just
tomorrow
like
night.
implode on itself because
Yeah.
of like the yeah.
And if it does, we get to see it live.
Yes, you do. It'll be there for all the internet to see.
So you can also
Okay.
find us on iTunes. Subscribe to us there. You can like us on Facebook or follow Vine. I think somebody does that.
Vine, Instagram, Tumblr, all that
Somebody
fun
does that too. But Twitter really is the only important one. And Zach keeps messing with the Twitter. And
Mr.
I'm like,
Wartburg, do you have anything you want to pimp?
Kinda. I'm gonna be
Go
doing a lot
for it,
more
dude.
of streaming now because I actually have a set hour job because I got a new job at a bank, which is cool.
high five.
So I'm gonna be also working 8 blocks from home, which is awesome. Saving so much money on gas.
Dude, it's awesome to have a job you don't have to drive to now.
Well, I'll still probably drive.
I have one that.
I'm a lazy
counts.
fucker.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
still
walking.
drive?
It's like it's up a lot of hills. I'm not walking,
Exercise. Come on, man.
dude. I'm gonna well,
Bicycle.
They're
at
actually
least.
gonna pay
Come
for
on.
my gym membership too, so I'll be using that. But
I
since
think
I'm
that's
gonna have a
pretty
set time, I can actually get a set schedule for
How are you gonna
streaming.
get your steps in?
I just will.
You count your steps,
I
right?
just
Everybody
will.
counts their steps.
I mean, currently
about
I
it.
am averaging like 15,000 a day from my
That's
job.
a shit ton of steps.
Well, I work
that's right.
I
You're on your
work
feet all
in,
day.
Yeah, I'm on my feet for 9 hours
All
a
right,
day.
you're fine. I'm at like 6,000, and I walk to the city, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is not terrible. I should have a lot more though. But that's it for social media.
Yep.
Oh, TFT Smash is coming out soon, and I might play this game called Undertale soon. I'm probably not going to stream it because my computer sucks, but that's it.
Oh.
Is that it?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's
I
everything.
have something to
One, two,
discuss.
three,
with
Somebody
you.
just said,
We're
"Oh."
done. But we're really
All right.
done. I just remind me to remind me to remind you.
Remind you.
Yeah.
To remind
need to
me
talk about
to remind
something.
you. We need to talk about the reminding you.
Yeah, that's a little tease.
Okay.
for people.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Say bye.
I'm confused. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what's happening.